Oh, what up, dude? Welcome to Free for All Friday right here on Detroit Lions and the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. What's going on, family? How's everybody doing? Let's say what's up to the people in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We got Gino in the building. Good morning. Good morning. We got Michael Huck is in the building. What's going on, Michael Huck? Then we got my man Dan Spanos. Good morning to Dan Spanos and the Prowl Nation. The jazzy one, Paul Jarose is in the building. What's going on, Paul Jarose? Then we got the guy George Eagle and says good morning. Thanks. That's we're on the Bible on that Barry's very first carry. Whatever team is that was like 5, 6, 7 guys on him. He carried them for more than 5 or 6 yards. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. All right, we got my man Mike Kimber in the building coming in, man. Good to see you, Mike, man.
Hey, what's going on?
Did you shave it? Did you shave it?
Yeah, I shaved it all. Actually, it was not on purpose. It was not on purpose. I screwed up my haircut, and I said, well, I'm just cutting it all off.
Hey, man, I had to do it in the pandemic, man. Like, it was my nerves, man. It started falling out, man. So for about a year, I had a bald head. So
yeah, it's actually it'll come back. It'll come back. But I screwed it up.
It come back, man. Great to have you. Great to see you, man. Sweatbread's in the building. What's going on? I think that's what Sweatbread, because it ain't Sweet Bread, because Sweet Bread got 2 E's now. All right, so let's get into some of this content, man. Today it is on and popping. We got some things to talk about. All right, so I know you kind of talked about this the other day because I kind of jumped in on it when you were on the LNU site the other day. Give me your thoughts on the Jeff Okudah trade. And I'll go to Mike right quick. Mike, because like I said, I heard you talk about this the other day, but then there was some other stuff that came out afterwards. So I want to get with your opinions on what happened with that trade.
You know, I think it was inevitable that it was going to happen. Clearly, when you look at the roster and what they did in, this offseason here, upgrading the position. And from a financial standpoint, you kind of had to. I mean, you're not going to have a $10 million backup cornerback sitting on the side there that you're not picking up as a fifth-year option. So why not just trade him away for pretty much anything? Fifth-round pick seemed exactly what he's going to get for somebody that's been inconsistent with health-wise as well as play. So I'm fine with it. You'd like to get more because he was the 3rd overall draft pick, but there's nothing that this regime can do. And so you're going to save $5 million. That's cool. And you do get a 5th-round pick, in which if you think it's just a 5th-round pick, well, you got to understand that Brad Holmes knows how to draft in these rounds too. So it actually could be a player that can contribute right away for the cheap, or you can take that draft pick and maybe a 6th-round pick, move in and go into the 4th round or something like that if there's a player you like. So I'm fine with the move. It just seemed like it was inevitable, in all honesty.
Yeah. All right. Before I get to you, Tim, I bring in Luke G of Luke G's Fair Review. What's going on, Luke?
Fellas, what's going on? It's a good family affair as always. I'm excited. Sorry I'm late. I caught some of the show as I was leaving out of my work building to get to this damn car, and Mike already got me excited because I'm finna probably say the opposite of him.
All right,
Clearly.
Sorry.
Let me get to Tim right quick. All right, what did you think about the Okudah trade?
Well, I thought, like Mike said, it was an hope that he was going to get traded. I mean, it was like there was no reason to keep him. He was underperforming, and when he played, which wasn't very much, he's just another bad person we got from the former regime that did not work. So now I don't like the fact that we had to pick up some of his salary. I think that was kind of dumb to do, but other than that,
well,
at least we got
it was going to be inevitable because once you trade someone, now I know it wasn't like usually the guaranteed is on the team that the team that had the person before. So when you trade someone, any guaranteed monies that left on that contract is on the team that actually had the player before. It doesn't go transfer to the new team, just as the base salary does that. If you look at Jeff Okudah, I'd rather get something for him than let him walk out the door for nothing after this season. because if you let him go in free agency, you're not going to get anything back from him. And you look at his performance, you're not going to get a compensatory pick for that guy. He just doesn't have enough. Doesn't have enough snaps, and he doesn't have enough production on the field for you to get a compensatory pick for that guy. I would have rather him switch positions, but if you look at what they did in the free agency, bringing in a safety, and then with the emergence of Kirby Joseph, and then you have Tracy Walker coming back, there really isn't a spot for him on this roster. I don't think that they were like thinking about. I think they're going to draft the corner, and I think he was going to be the odd man out regardless. But I just think, and you look at what Dan Campbell said yesterday on the Rich Eisen, so they were like, we want to give him a fresh start. He's 24 years old. I hope he goes to Atlanta and they switch him to safety and he balls out. To me, he's not a corner. He is a safety. His body type and the way he plays like a safety. His most productive game last year was against the Cowboys. He had 15 tackles, and 12 of those were solo tackles, and he played the majority of the game at safety. All right, so I know Luke gonna come in and he's got his take, so I wanted to get all the takes that's kind of similar until we get the one that's gonna be out here in right field. So Luke, go ahead.
I love the right field. We try to knock it out the park. But look, the reality is this. I feel like we as fans always find a way to make ourselves feel good about something in most cases, right? And we'll use statements like, "Oh well, I'd rather get something for him than let him walk." But we let Jamal Williams walk, right? We could have traded him and got something for Jamal Williams, but we didn't. And sometimes the story isn't always get something, let them walk, is can they give you something that helps your team at that moment? In the case of Jamal Williams, he gave you something that can help your team at that moment. At the end of the year, you let him walk, you pay somebody else. And I think in this particular case, that's what the Lions should have did with Okudah. And this is coming from a guy who thought that Okudah should have never been drafted. Mike was very adamant he wanted Herbert to high heaven. I wanted Isaiah Simmons. Both of us would have came out looking better than what the hell we got with Okudah. And so my reality is this. You telling me you had a guy that you couldn't find no use for, but you could find a use for Will Harris? He's already tried corner. He's already been safety. You can find use for him. And before people start telling me about the money and talking about the money, miss me with that. It does not matter what the money is. All the people who say that you can't restructure a rookie contract, I did a little research. Yes, you can. After the third year, you can restructure it. They didn't offer that up as a deal for him. Another thing that I looked at and said, hey, why not try him as a safety? Because you cannot tell me he couldn't have made one of those, the backup safety roles. Your backup safeties are as follows. Let's say, for example, you go Tracy Walker and Gardner Johnson. All right, then Kirby's the backup safety to one of them. And then you telling me that you would rather have C.J. Moore and Brady Breeze as the other safeties? Hell no. I would rather try to experiment with Okudah.
Is Brady Breeze still on the roster?
Yes, he is.
Yep, he is. Yep.
That's surprising. Thank you for that. That cup of caca you just gave me instead of sugar.
I'm just saying, we could have. You gave up on a guy. I don't want to hear his age. I know he had injuries. I know all this other stuff. But as you pointed out, Curt, when he was in the box, he performed because he's a safety. I've been saying safety for the longest. Everybody told me I was crazy. I took my victory lap already. I let Patty Luke out for a minute. It was fun. But no, unfortunately, I don't like the trade. For a 5th round pick, I'd rather just cap them and see what I can do. And if it don't work out, then let them walk.
Okay. Hey, everybody got their own opinion about it. Hey, I say 5th rounder, that's what you're gonna people. Oh, he should have. We got more because he was a third overall pick. His production was not going to yield anything higher than a 5th round pick. I'm sorry, it just wasn't going to do it. And we talked about this, man. I'm telling you, man, I was down here in Charlotte, man, when it was like, and Michael Huck and Lionel of Douchebaggy and myself was looking for him after halftime because DJ Moore had took all his lunch money, ran his pockets, took his girl, and everything. I mean, he really just cooked his ass. I mean, he just scared me. He really just. I mean, it was terrible. It was. But
that's been his college career, though, Curt.
It was terrible.
That was his college career, and the media charged him up because of how good the Ohio State defense as a whole was. And when that one lone reporter, I didn't get his name, but he's the real MVP because he says, "Hey, you a little sloppy," and he want to hit him with that quote, "Sloppy how?" You know what he mean? I didn't get no holes and no. You didn't get it because I was watching that Michigan game. They just was watching you do all this illegal stuff and didn't throw the flag, but that don't mean you didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a speeding ticket, but I definitely speed.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Hey, thank you guys for checking us out right here in Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Y'all home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Y'all know what I do in April, man. April, I wear I wear an autism awareness shirt each day, and I'm rocking this one the last couple of Fridays, so I'm rocking again today. It's accept, adapt, and advocate, and this has the lion and the autism awareness puzzle pieces. So represent for my man Curt Steele III. You know I gotta represent for my man. He holds it down. He's his daddy's hero, so I gotta do it for him all the time, man. But especially during the month of April, gotta represent for my man Curt Steele III. Let's get into some of the comments, man, just to see what they had to say. The Dern is in the building. We haven't seen you in a while, brother. What's going on, Dern? How you doing, my guy? Good to see you. Paul Giroux, the Jazzy one, says that the fifth will be used in a trade. I think that's what you were saying, Mike. You know that's definitely where the Lions can use that pick and trade up to get somebody they might want in the earlier rounds in the draft. Dan Spano says, I hope the move hopes to rejuvenate his career. I like the guy as a person. He wasn't a bad dude. He just couldn't get on the field, couldn't stay healthy, and even last year when he played the majority of his games, he still has some injury issues, and some health issues where he cut him off the field. Michael Huck, Mr. Reliable said we traded him to a team we played this year. That says they are not worried about him.
But one of the things that I found out was that the DB coach that the Falcons have, a reason why they wanted him, because the DB coach is supposed to be like really, really good. They said that he's responsible for the best seasons of Xavier Rhodes and best seasons of Marcus Peters, and that he's the reason why AJ Terrell was even balling out like that, they claim. So if he did that with them guys and he can get that out of Okudah, then kudos to them. But I don't think it's necessarily an issue of it's saying that they're not worried about him as much as they figure, let's just cut our losses. As Mike pointed out, let's cut our losses, get something and go. But I would have said, no, we're going to experiment with this a little bit more. Until we make up the thing that we want. I would have tried him at safety. I'm under the belief he's better than CJ Moore. He's better than Brady Breeze. He's better than Will Harris. He's better than McCain.
Yeah, CJ Moore, his role is a special teams. He's a backup. He's an emergency safety. So, but his role is primarily that backup. I mean, he's that special teamer. The Dern says shave head looking slick. Talking about Mike Kimbrough over here with the new look, man. Fresh cut. You know what I'm saying? Fresh dressed like $1 million. All right, let's get into some more of this content, man. All right, so what positions do you think the Lions should target on day 2 of the draft? We're talking about rounds 2 and 3. So Luke, rounds 2 and 3, where do you think the Lions should target, or what positions do you think they should target on day 2 of the draft?
Mike, get ready for this because you know what I'm going to go with this.
Probably.
Can we please address the damn linebackers? please.
Yeah.
Like I'm not asking you to reinvent the wheel. I'm not asking you to find a new way to create fire. I just need you to get a damn linebacker. Because if you're telling me that you're confident so much in Alex Anzalone and Malcolm Rodriguez, I'm telling you that your confidence is going to dwindle quick when you see that they're going to have a good interior D lineman in front of them and they're not going to be able to do their jobs. Please get a linebacker. I will go linebacker within that second round, and the other pick I would look at in that second round on top of linebacker is linebacker, because we need fucking linebackers. Like, I cannot stress this enough.
So you
like that's what I would go. Okay. Yeah, man. Listen, I'm taking them linebackers, bro.
So so kind of like Brad Holmes did that first year where he doubled up on defensive tackle, even though one of them didn't work out.
Yep.
So
we need linebackers.
Linebackers, you know what I'm saying? And Ms. Val would like that because she always says linebacker lives matter. All right, Timmy, what you got, man? What do you got? What kind of positions would you target in that day 2? We're talking rounds 2 and 3.
Okay. Well, of course, I mean, you do got to go with linebacker, but I mean, there's just, I mean, that's a need that we need to really address. That it's been apparent last year. It was apparent the year before. We need better people. We need better linebackers. So you can't argue with that. And at some point, I would like to see a backup quarterback or somebody training, for if Jared Goff gets hurt or whatever too.
Okay.
So
backup quarterback. I got you. So you talking linebacker, you talking quarterback. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Timmy. I got what you got. I got what you're saying, man. All right, Mike, what you got, man? Positions to target on day 2 of the draft.
He already said linebacker, and that's the number one. Absolutely, no doubt about it. That's got to be addressed. But I'll go as well as offensive guard. I think that a guard needs to be addressed because if you look at Big V and the reduction that he took for his contract, it clearly to me shows that he's not the long-term solution there. Graham Glasgow is not as well. And there's going to be some good guards in round 2 that the Lions could look to get, kind of be that guy for the next 10 years or so. And so I think if you can come out there, get a guard, somebody that you can rely on, because you can't rely on Big V, then that will make this offensive line much improved and something going forward that, we can actually be a ground and pound cohesive unit with the offensive line.
Yeah, I definitely get what you're saying, because you look at that. Neither one of those guys are long term. Both veterans, kind of long in the tooth, but you can be an older, deep offensive lineman in the league. That is not a really issue for me.
Can I ask a question really quick?
Over 30. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know the answer to this or not, but I want to ask this question. That just dawned on me. Mike just brought us on that. It just dawned on me.
Mm-hmm.
What were we paying Big V last year?
Ooh, he was getting paid. He was getting, I don't know the exact amount he was getting.
Was it more than 10 million?
I think
it was absolutely more. I think it was like 15 million or something.
Oh, yeah. So to the fan base who say we can't keep a player as a backup for 10 million.
Well, he won't get 10 million this year.
Yeah. Well, we know that, but we know he took 10 million last year, and we know that before
he was on that. He wasn't a backup last year. He was hurt. He was
that's my point. Listen. That's my point. He ain't really been in. Even when they came into the second year of this resurgence, he was always getting paid a lot of money. It was never really playing for us. He rarely played.
Bob Quinn got him that big contract. He was originally signed to play right tackle, and then that didn't work out. And then after Bob Quinn got fired, Brad Holmes drafted a right tackle and Panay Sewell. So, and then they moved him in, and then they moved him in interior because
my point is this though.
Guard though.
But my point is this. Mm-hmm. He still sat there and collected over $10 million to essentially just be there. He wasn't there.
He didn't collect $10 million. When you don't play, you don't collect your full salary. His contract was not guaranteed. So he collected a fraction of that last year. I think probably would have been. I'm almost sure a lot of that money he got was a guaranteed amount of money. That was a really big deal they gave him, and I'm almost sure that Big V, if anybody could have been cut, we could have cut Big V. We restructured him out and cap him. Yeah, they restructured. He's getting a lot less money this year than what he would have.
As he should. He should be getting more money with somebody else, not the Lions.
I mean,
I'm just trying to figure out. Like with the $10 million. That's all.
I think the thing with him is like you restructure because it would be a bigger cap hit if we let him go walk somewhere else. So if we,
I'm picking up what you put down. I'm just saying that we don't have a problem with letting people sit and get money. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the rules of the CBA is that they won't, because it's a game. You get your checks by game, so you get a fraction of that once. You get a fraction of that during the season if you're hurt, if you're on the IR. Of course, that money still counts against your salary cap, but what the actual player gets in monetary is not the same. It's a fraction because they're not actually on the field earning that game check. So, but let me get back to what I was saying about who we should target or what positions we should target. I definitely feel in the offensive lineman because you can stick him next to Panay Sewell, and you're going to have to re-sign Jonah Jackson here shortly. So you can keep a core intact, and then you have the two veterans with Graham Glasgow and Big V as backups this season. So I get what you guys are saying. As far as where I would go, I would definitely linebackers, of course. We were talking about this till we were blue in the freaking face about our linebackers suck. But they like them, so they don't. I mean, what's that old black mama saying? If you like it, I love it. So and they like the guys that we have a linebacker for some reason, man. They love those guys. They love Anzalone. They love Rodriguez. And what's the other young fella's name?
I know you can't. I mean, Julian LaCour still here. What the hell? This is crazy.
LaCour,
he won't be here he won't make 53.
Yeah, he won't make it.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, I don't think he will either. And what's the other linebacker that used to be a defensive end in college? His name's Barnes, Derek Barnes. Yeah. So, I mean, they like those guys for some reason. I don't know what it is. But...
I don't know how they can like Burns. They rarely play him. And I remember watching the game against the last year. I think we was going against the Eagles. No, wait, who was it? Or it was Washington. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, can we just put Burns in because he can stop the run? And as soon as he come in, run play dead. I'm like, thank you. Good grief.
Yeah. But if you look at some of the other positions that we could look at on day 2, and I'm looking like probably 3rd round, that's where you can kind of address maybe some of the things on the opposite side of the ball, maybe a tight end, maybe a wide receiver, because you're looking at it. So I think maybe that's where you kind of can address some of the offensive weapons, maybe a running back in the 3rd round. So that's the round for me where I think you can address some of the offense if you want to. I still think the 1st round you still go defense, and then defense in round 2 as well. But round 3 you can maybe address an offensive player, backup quarterback, maybe a running back, maybe a wide receiver or a tight end. So that's where I think we're at with that. Let's see what they got going on in the chat, man. Because thank you guys for hanging out with us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Lady Lioness back and said, "Hey everyone, this is Val hijacking Lady Lioness's phone. We are on the road, man. Safe travels to Val and Nicole, man. They doing a road trip right now, and that's why the Queen's not on here, man. So safe travels, man. We will see you guys back here in a couple of weeks right before the draft. So safe travels out there, Val and Nicole. It's my man Raw Podcast is in the building. Says I would take a quarterback in the 1st round. Just my opinion. That's not
agree.
Your opinion. I'll
agree.
say Luke has said this forever. So yeah. Luke has said this for a while. He said the ones available, you take it in the it depends on, to me, I'm looking at this like but Dan Cameron said it yesterday. He said they're not above taking a quarterback. They're not above it. And they said Goff's their guy, but they said
should never
if
anything off.
If it's something falls their way that they like, it will be a thing where they can definitely look at it. So it's one of those things. CJ Rose says Barnes is due for a breakout season. But I'm with Luke G. If they play him,
right, you got to play him.
We're gonna have a breakout year.
They're not
He's
even playing him.
Disappointed me. Yeah, I'm just kind of go in there and get a linebacker in round 2. Come on, man.
See, this is my thing. I'm with you. I'm disappointed in what I seen out of him. But when I go through and I look at like the number of snaps and all that, they're not playing him the same way everybody was dumping as once Akuda got that first interception and they was like, look, he got more interceptions and doing better than Isaiah Simmons. And I'm like, you realize he only played like 34% of the snaps all season. And they like, what? I'm like, yeah, like it actually was less than that if you take out the special teams. Like they're not playing them. You got to play these guys.
Yeah. All right. Padro says by the time the Lions draft the linebacker, it will be Sewell. And he's talking about Noah Sewell, not Penei Sewell, because we already got a Sewell on the roster. Not sure about that one. I mean, we'll see. I think most of us on this panel, we've all said the same thing: linebacker. We just want to see some improved play from a linebacker. I mean,
I was just really excited, that Malcolm Rodriguez was the greatest linebacker to ever exist. And
Mike, be careful. You gonna have him coming at you. Be careful, Mike. Be careful.
I will say this: he was a rookie, and he had his ups and downs all season. He was a rookie, and he played like a rookie. Like he wasn't the greatest thing. He had splashes, but for where he was drafted, I think we got out
I'm fine. I agree. I was just told this guy's the second coming of Ray Lewis.
Yeah, no.
and the idea that he's a rookie or he took it in the 5th or 6th round, none of that matters, right? Nobody cares about that stuff.
But he played. I mean, the guy, you can't say he didn't have he had a good season for who he is.
Okay. For who he is. I got it.
Because I'm looking at it like this. Whatever I thought he would have gave the Lions was extra. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I wasn't one of those guys that was like, "Ooh, look at this guy." I was like, "Okay, we got this guy."
But you know what though? It's funny because when I watched him like real close and stuff, and I'm with Mike. I can't tell you how many people came after me for me just being like, "He's mad." No, he's not, man. You're crazy. I'm like, listen, I know it's a feel good story, but he's somebody you could definitely upgrade from. No, I'm telling you, we found the gym. What you found was a guy who can come in and be serviceable for a few plays and maybe a few games, but he's not a starter. He's not. And I got it. If I told Mike, be careful, you don't want to get attacked, man.
Yeah.
And a situational guy, but not the green dot. Yeah. This guy's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I got my ass ripped for that.
Here's a good take. Doug Michael Rosen said the Rodrigo was drafted doesn't mean beans. We got a lot of our money, but not a stud. That's correct. We did not. But people were saying,
right.
Like he was the second coming of Ray Nitsky or something. I don't know. I mean, it was like the dude was. It was like he's gonna be the leader of our defense, and he's gonna be the next Chris Spielman. I'm like, I just didn't see it.
And you know what's funny though? All those same people who had that love as the season went on, they got quieter and quieter. You didn't hear nothing. Yep, you didn't hear nothing, and it got to the point where when he would make a play, you couldn't do nothing but celebrate because you hadn't heard his name in so long. It was like, oh, he actually still out there. Like it's amazing.
Now he did deal with some injuries down the stretch of the season. He was probably hurt a little bit on that back end of the season, but you know he made some splash plays. But it is what it is. He is who he is. You know, will he get better? Maybe, I don't know. But like I said, the team, from whatever reason it is. They like the linebackers we got on the roster. I hope that changes here shortly, and we draft somebody in this draft.
Hopefully, they like to win better than just like the people. I'd rather get some quality.
Yeah, you give me a player I don't like, and if he helps us win, shit, I take that over.
That's guys what I want is to win,
helping us succeed. But hey, thank you guys for checking us out right here in Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors, man. Go over to Fanatics.com. They got a lot of things going on over there, man. They got the new draft caps are out there. They actually just released the draft t-shirt just came out. So hit the fanatics.com, links in the description below, and a portion of the proceeds go to help us grow the content on this channel. And make sure you check us out over at Lions Nation Unite. My man Mike's hanging out over there, man. He runs their YouTube channel. He runs their Facebook page, man. He does the content over there, man. And it's just the ultimate virtual hangout for Detroit Lions fans. Mike, hit him up. What's going to happen at the draft? What's going to happen with the draft over there at LMU?
It's going to be epic. So myself, Everything King, Dosa Dion, Herman Moore, Chrissy, we're going to be live at the draft. It's going to be a party, and it's going to be live like an ESPN type of thing. And we're going to have some Lions greats, some legends, and some former Michigan players show up and do interviews. And we're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be just throwing shirts out and all this type of stuff, giving away some sweet gear, food, and everything. So if you guys want to have fun at the Soaring Eagle Casino, do it on draft night. It's going to be straight epic.
Yeah.
Mike, if you throw the shirt off your body to me and I catch it, are you going to sign it?
Oh, no, I'm going to have you sign my chest.
Okay, just say, all right, say less next time. I mean, he said they're gonna be throwing shirts off, so I figure if he's gonna throw it and I catch it, I want the autograph.
I'll wear a thong and I'll throw that out.
Oh God.
Okay, moving on.
There we go.
Oh my God. Moving on.
My
All right.
brings all the boys to the yard.
Okay, now we just talked about this. Oh my God! I threw my mouth a little bit. All right.
My bad. My bad.
All right. So we just talked about this. So this is the position that we just talked about when the Lions need to take. So which linebacker prospect should the Lions draft? I'm gonna go to you first, Luke, because you had an interesting guy you brought the other day in the DSA chat. So which linebacker prospect should the Lions be picking up in this draft?
So listen, I'm almost 100% sure he's going to be a Lion. I feel really good he's going to be a Lion. I think that there's probably two things who can look at him, but he's going to be a Lion, and that is Isaiah Moore. Isaiah Moore from NC State. Now we went and dipped into NC State well before, and when we did it, everybody was like, "Oh, who in the hell is Aleem McNeil?" But it worked out. He's a really good player. He's decent, right? He's not somebody who's bad. Well, Isaiah Moore is the perfect prototype of a Brad Holmes linebacker. He played 5 years. He had a knee injury, so you know that's part of it. The knee injury is part of the formula. But he was a captain. Right? It's the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. He's a captain. He's a captain. He was a leader. And you know what? He reminds me a lot of Bobby Wagner. He has a neck for the ball. This whole idea of you being a blocker with him, it doesn't matter. He dispatches them really well. Isaiah Moore, number one, this past season. He was wearing number 41 the previous season before. Is a guy that I would love for the Lions to take, and I think is going to take. And the other linebacker that I have been looking at that I think fits what the Lion is doing, and again, it's a name that people aren't really talking about, is Pope out of Auburn. But I think he could be better as a special teams guy, so like later down in the draft. But okay. Isaiah Moore for me is he fits the bill. He looks the part.
Okay, I feel you. What you got, Timmy?
Oh God, Trenton Simpson would be all right.
Trenton Simpson. Okay.
Yeah.
Trenton Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
His name's been floated around in a few mock drafts for the Lions. So I feel what you're saying. Young guy who's kind of he's not a prototypical inside linebacker, but he's like that. You know, guy who definitely a great coverage linebacker. Guy got tremendous speed.
We need speed.
So yeah, and he's a great coverage linebacker. Mm-hmm. So that's the type of we've had this issue with our linebackers being able to cover, couldn't cover anything, couldn't cover a bedspread with a blanket. But yeah, I feel what you're saying. What you got, Mike? Who would you draft as what linebacker prospect would you think the Lions should draft?
Jelani Tavai, redraft him.
Oh
back.
my God!
That would be. Look, man, the guy he's really good at walking, and his coverage skills is bar none compared to no one.
Mike, so you get a timeout. You get a timeout, man. I mean, that's just.
You know it's bad when Tim throw a flag on the play.
If it was around the horn, we'd mute you. We'd already muted you.
I've been saying this guy, and I know it's the name that everybody knows, but Trenton Simpson, they've met with him multiple times. They've spent time at the Senior Bowl. It's clear as day to me that they really like what he brings, and I think that's a legit target for the Lions in round 2 if he's still available. I really do. But I like Jack Campbell quite a bit. Everybody knows this. But at the same time, I think Trenton Simpson may be their target. But another guy could be DeMarvin Overshown. I've been watching him for a year now. Initially, he was like a 7th-round prospect, but now he's moving all the way to round 3. I think he would be a really good versatile linebacker. If you miss out in the first 2 rounds, I think that would be a really good guy. Get him in coverage. And he definitely would probably overtake Malcolm Rodriguez.
Yeah. Trenton Simpson is a guy that I will be looking at. And they also have met with Drew Sanders. I'm not really a fan of either Sanders or I'm not really a big fan of Jack Campbell either. If you look at what the type of defense the Lions play and you look at the type of linebackers that they have, he doesn't fit that. For me, he kind of reminds me of that Kyle Van Noy type of linebacker where he would probably fit great in that Patriots system.
He's not even Kyle Van Noy, Curt. Listen, any linebacker who can't get off blocks, you're dead in the water. I'm sorry. He's getting bodied by tight ends.
So I mean, I'm not saying that he's. I don't say I don't like Jack Campbell. Period. I just don't like him for the Lions. I don't like him for the scheme that the Lions run. So he would have to move to edge if he played to play the Lions. For me, that would be my thing because you look at him in the middle and his build, he's built more like a defensive end than he is a linebacker in the Lions system. But that's just me. But like that Trenton Simpson, that speed and the way he plays, I think that's the type of coverage linebacker we need. And I say, like you said, Mike, they met with him multiple times. I think that is the target for the Detroit Lions in that top of the second round. I think that's where, and you look at the amount of drop picks they got right now. It may not be a thing where they may trade back up into the to the first round.
Yeah, great, 100%.
Mm-hmm. So they're positioning themselves. They can do a lot of things. They can be very versatile in this upcoming draft. So I like the fact that this year it's like, what the hell are they going to do? You don't have a clue of what the Lions are going to do in this draft. Like last year, you knew, okay, it was going to be an edge rusher. It was going to be the first one off the board, the next one off the board. Because if Aiden Hutchinson would have won, it would have been then another the next edge off the board would have been to the Detroit Lions. So, but you see where Aiden Hutchinson was available at 2, and that was the guy that they took. Same way in the previous year where it was like we needed an offensive tackle. It was going to be either Rashawn Slater or it was going to be Penei Sewell, and Penei Sewell happened to slide, so it was going to be Penei Sewell. And this year it's like, okay, who the hell are we taking? So never know. But let's get back into the chat, man. Let's see what you guys talk about. Hey, make sure you should go and check us out on the Detroit Lions on the Prowl.com. Make sure you go over there and get some of those classics. Lions on the Prowl shirt at lionsontheprowlshop.com. All right, so let's get into some of this chat. Mike Kimber, he says Tavai and then Jared Davis the next pick.
I'm telling you, I really feel like Jared Davis, like most people, if you just look at the way that man, we should have fired Patricia at the 1 year. The way he ruined so many people is just not normal. It's not like I'm saying. Like when you think about it, who looked good? Even his own people didn't look good under him. How?
Yeah, that was terrible.
The inventor of the atom bomb said, "I have become death, the destroyer of worlds." He's actually talking about Matt Patricia.
Yeah, he had to be.
Yeah,
he had to be.
Because even last year, you had Mac Jones was like, "Are we?" He calling other coaches like, "Should we be doing this shit?"
Like, yeah. Right. Yeah, he had Mac Jones like, yo, like listen, like yelling at him, like, get the hell up, man. No, we're not calling that play. Like that's when you know you tricked. Like he wasn't even a full-fledged vet, and he telling him we ain't calling that.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, that was terrible. When they said that he was going to be calling the office, I'm like, whose idea was this? That's like the worst idea in the history of ideas. Is that
it's a terrible idea?
Like, who in the hell is that? All right, wait. Eric Wallace says, "Good morning." Good morning, there, Eric. Appreciate it. CJ Rose says the roster is already full. There's no way Big Brad is drafting all those picks. I don't think so either. He's got ammunition to move up and down the draft board as he wants, and even if it's one of the things, he moves back and gets some picks for next year. So yeah,
we got 9 picks, right?
We got 9 picks. I think
now. There's no way.
Yeah, 9 now. No, he's not picking 9 picks. Not this year. I don't think so. I get what
you're not going to make the team. Everyone's not going to make the roster is much improved. It's just not going to happen.
Nope. Yeah, I get what you 100%. I agree with you, CJ Rose. Thank you very much for that comment. All right, we got some more questions to get to. And here we go. Do you think the Lions will win the NFC North? If not Detroit, then who? So, Maniac Tim, I got a feeling you're going to be something positive, baby. Is the Lions going to win the North, baby?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They're going
to
the
Maniac.
Yeah.
Get that Maniac out of them right quick. You know what I'm
saying?
They're
going to release the beast, and they're just going to walk all over the North.
Okay. I'll feel you there, Mr. Broham. All right. Luke G, are the Lions going to win the North? Do you think they will win the North? If not, then who?
I think they should. I don't think they will. And so I think the Vikings still I think the Vikings win the North. And the reason I say that is because as fortunate as that team was to get all them wins and all that stuff like that, we were just praising our team for losing all them short games too. So I just look at the Vikings, and one of the things that that stood out to me is they're getting a lot of their guys that they invested in back healthy. Obviously, we got better too, but I feel like the storm is too perfect to where it seems like the Lions should win the North, but they won't. Like every time they say that we should do something, like you know what I mean? Like
I understand
Vegas,
what you're saying.
Vegas scares me because Vegas is like, yeah, they're the favorite, and I'm like, but Vegas don't try to lose money, so.
Vegas got us up there they got us taking the NFC, almost up to taking the NFC, not the North.
That's what I'm saying. So when you see that, the fan of me, the subjective fan of me want to be like, hell yeah, like, you know, but the objective need to be truthful and report what I believe. No, we're not winning it. I think the Vikings edge us out just by a bit.
Okay. I feel what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah, and a counter to Luke is that there's a time when we just gotta step up and do what William said as far as for all these damn doubters. We gotta quit being doubters ourselves too, and just freaking, as Nike named it right, just do it. It's time to do it.
Okay. Man, the Maniac, man.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. The Maniac said, just do it, baby. All right, what you got, Mike, man?
They better win the NFC. That my expectations is win the NFC North. Anything less to me at this point is unsuccessful season. You have an offense we know is a top 5 offense, okay? And you just upgraded this defense significantly. So if you cannot win the North now, when you have an opportunity, when Green Bay's a little bit lower, Minnesota did lose some players, and Chicago is not fully into their, fully good with the rebuild. If you can't do it now, when the hell are you going to do it? You have to do it now. And so I expect them to win it. If they don't, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. We've never won the NFC North. This is the time to do it. And I expect them to do it. And I'm seeing the swag from the coaching staff. I'm seeing the swag from the players. You gotta do it this year. You have to win this damn division. With 5-1 in the NFC North last year, you're a better football team this year. Green Bay's not as good as last year. I think Minnesota lost a little bit after reducing players. Chicago's a little bit better, but they were ass last year. So go out there and win the damn North so I can stop complaining about it.
Yeah, because the last time they won the division, it was the NFC Central.
Yeah.
I think that they're prime. They should be primed to win the North for all those reasons that you said. Do I have a hesitation like Luke? Yeah, but I got to put it like Tim said. I got to put it out of my head. I should expect them to win the NFC North. I should expect them to make a deep playoff run. Just because of the fact that they're talented. They got better on the defensive side of the ball. The offensive side of the ball is actually they got a little bit. Actually, I think they got better with the additions of David Montgomery, with the upgrade of adding a Jameson Williams for a full season. And you look at with those additions itself, the offense is going to be even more potent. And you look at the defensive side of the ball where you have the defensive side of the ball where you upgraded some of the secondary, and you still can do that and upgrade it even more in the draft. So, and if you add some more pieces, that defensive interior line and the linebacker position, you are primed to make a run at the NFC North. It shouldn't be any more excuses for the Lions in the NFC North.
Can I ask this question, because I'm curious to this, because it seems like what Vegas is doing and what many fans are doing is they're basing this off of the projection that Aaron Rodgers is leaving. If Aaron Rodgers some way,
I don't care about Aaron Rodgers staying or not.
Okay, that was my question. Like, do your expectations or projections go down if Aaron Rodgers remains with the Packers?
Nope, we beat him twice last year, so I don't care.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, we don't know what Jordan Love's going to be. That's a wild card. What if he is? I mean, when Favre left, we're like, yay. It didn't work out so well.
I know,
right?
He's like, oh, okay. Yeah, we got that problem done.
That was that bullshit right there. But you kind of, But you knew what you had. But I kind of figured what they had with Aaron Rodgers in the. I don't know what Jordan Love is. I kind of knew what Aaron Rodgers was. I don't know what Jordan Love is. So, you know, I don't know. I don't know what he is. George Eagle says I want Sharon Rodgers to stay.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Packers get a bunch of draft picks for Aaron Rodgers when he's really at the end of his career. I mean, it's like going ahead and paying top dollar for a old Oldsmobile instead of getting a Mercedes Benz. You know, Aaron Rodgers is not at the top of his career. He's pretty well done. Let's keep him and let's go ahead and kick him out of the NFC North when he's still there and take our championship.
When I think about Karen too, it's not even the play on the field that I'm excited for him to leave. It's just him being a Karen. I can't like this dude's always talking. It's like, okay, just get the hell out of here. We're tired of this. Like, it's old.
You know, and I hate the fact that he hijacks the offseason for the entire league every year is about what he's going to do. Trisha Miller says no one cares about
Hey, I got to get
Rodgers.
going, man. My brother just showed up.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk to you later, man. Thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Yep.
All right.
Peace out.
All right. Trisha Miller says they will win the North. They will be in contention for the NFC Championship this year. If you're scared, go to church. Okay.
Hey, that's one of my mottos. But I'm not scared. I'm just telling you that I'm being objective. When I look at our schedule this year, I believe the schedule is tougher, and that's just based on opponents, not me looking at when we play. Now, when we play might give me more confidence, but when I looked at the opponents last year, I was highly confident that we should have won at the most 12 games. But at the very minimum, I was the very first one to say no. 8 and 9 is not good enough. All right. I was very clear about that. It needs to be more than that.
You were. I definitely would. I agree with you on that one 100%, Luke. Definitely. All right. Let's kind of get back into this last question, and before we get out of here, we run up on the time. All right. What second-year player will have the biggest impact on the Lions in 2023? Tim, what you got? What's Lions' second-year player will have the biggest impact on the team?
I think it will be Hutchinson, but I can't forget about Malcolm Rodriguez. I mean, he's such a great linebacker.
But you can.
Yeah, I know. That was a joke. Yeah, I think Hutchinson will. I really do. I think he's going to come on to his own even more than he did last year.
Okay, so Aiden Hutchinson. All right, what you got, Luke G?
It's all right. I'm just gonna go with it. Because it's. I mean, I don't know how to view this in terms of second-year players. Like I feel like we don't need another edge rusher. We need to play James Houston. I just play him. This whole idea that he can't do runs, that he's only a situational pass rusher, that's cap. They used him as a situational pass rusher, but they also cut and released them because they didn't know what they had. You gotta play him. You have to play him. So I'm hoping that he go ahead and do what he's supposed to do and get them double-digit sacks.
So James Houston, you going with James Houston? I gotta go with my man. I'm thinking this. Hopefully he gets his number back. I want to see J-Mo had the biggest impact.
Oh yeah,
on this team. That's what I want. I'm not saying I think he will, because we didn't know what we had with him last year. We didn't have the chance to actually really work him in. He came in so late into the season where, and he just didn't have the touches. And this happened and you look at the two plays we actually got the ball, and where the third one got called back on a 50-something yard touchdown, and got called back on a holding penalty. But I think that kid is going to be something else, man. And with Okudah gone, I hope he can get his number one back, because he's already politicking for it. So, but yeah,
that was so disrespectful. The
money wasn't even cold yet. Now he wasn't even
right. It wasn't even cold,
dude. The trade wasn't even announced by the Lions yet. They were like,
hey, I'm sorry y'all bought that jersey, but I'm gonna need that Uno. Like, what the hell?
Hey, I ain't even mad at him. Hey, what's that saying? Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah. But he could have said that quietly behind the scenes, man.
He was like, hold on, dog. He wanted to be known. He wanted his number back.
Yeah. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Now have the numbers to get that number. Give him that number, but he better have those damn numbers to get that number and be a part of winning the NFC North for us.
Yeah. I think it would be. Oh, hey, let's go to the comments because I see one that's already going to irritate Val. So I see one that already going to irritate Val. So Michael Huckman Flava says for Val the biggest jump will be Kirby Joseph. Oh man. Val says into the trash bin. I don't know what it is about her own players from her own college team that she likes. But Tony Blumenshine says hopefully Jameson Williams will have 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns. Sound like a good round number. Go Lions. Hey, I take that all day.
Oh yeah.
I take that all day. That kid he's gonna be something special.
But you know what's gonna happen though, right, Curt?
What's that?
I already gonna see what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen is there's gonna be a moment where something happens, he's not gonna have a big game, and everybody's gonna turn and say we should have drafted the quarterback. It's Jared Goff's fault. He can't get him the ball. Watch, mark my words. I see these storylines lining up before they even happen.
Yeah. Maybe might better ask what players could going to be replaced by someone else. They all should be improved. Some pretenders gone. I think the Lions are doing that though. You look at some of the guys that just kind of letting go out the door, trading them. Like, okay, you ain't working out, so your ass got to ride. So, so you look at some of the guys they let walk out the building like, nope, you ain't it, bro. You got to go. So, oh man. Woo, they coming at Val. There's both barrels. Val can't wait till we get Witherspoon. They're talking about all these Illini players. Might as well put Sidney Brown in that thing too. That's small corner. I mean, safety, right? Ain't he like a 5'8" safety? I think he's short, man. I mean, Sidney Brown is short. I mean, he like 5'8", 5'9".
I think that the Witherspoon will be a good addition. But I just wonder because he plays so aggressive.
Yeah, I
wonder how that translates. You know what I mean? In the NFL, you know, they gonna call that stuff. Like Okuda went, like he said, he didn't get no pass interference, no hold because they wasn't calling it. He got to the NFL, the first play, he holding. I'm like, there it is. See, didn't take long.
Yeah,
it's and I think that's the issue. What I see with two corners two high rated corners in this draft are kind of handsy down the field, and that's with Devin Witherspoon and I think Joey Porter Jr. He can get a little handsy down the field too. So I think that they were, but I think with Porter he has the physical attributes to kind of can get coached out of him. With Witherspoon he's a little smaller, so he has to play aggressive.
Yeah, he want, and I like that he plays aggressive. I just think that with him, I was watching his film, you know, because I'm working on a video for him, and I'm like, bro, it's like 10 yards down the field. Why are you still beating up on? I loved it, but you can't do that
because in the NFL, you get past that 5 yards, dog. That flag is coming out.
Oh man, he was beating up on that.
Because
especially the Lions.
Because the one guy that does it on the Lions and he kind of gets away with it sometimes, but he gets called for it too, is Jerry Jacobs because he could be a little handsy. He's kind of one of those undersized corners as well. He's physical, but he's learned how to kind of temper it. He gets called sometimes, but it's not an issue with him that will be with the way that Witherspoon plays currently. He can't bring that into the league. They ain't gonna go for it. Those refs, and especially wearing Honolulu blue. They're already looking for something to call against you. If you're wearing a Lions shirt, a Lions logo, if you look like a lion, I mean, if it's even close to what the Lions wearing. And I live in North Carolina. Y'all know this. I always want to know what is making the Carolina Panthers want to be the Detroit Lions. You see, they changing that. First of all, they got a whole bunch of former Lions coaches, Lions players, and they even changed their blue to look like the Honolulu blue. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Wait, I didn't know that they changed their colors, but this is what I thought, and I tried to explain this to people when they was like, we gonna run all over the Panthers. I said, y'all don't understand what Frank Wright did for the Colts and what he has to work with. If he gets a quarterback with what he has to work with, and what I now see that Deuce can get out of any running back, I'm sorry, that's not going to be an easy game. It wasn't even, it was supposed to be an easy game this past season, and Curt can attest to what happened.
It was ass. That's what it was. It was just lacking. Hell had to throw this over because it was cold as shit in that stadium.
Julius Grant,
man.
Julius Grant.
But I will say, I was like, why they even have the concept do what they call it progression blue or something like that. They're changing the color blue. Like, it's just like, I'm like, why? I'm like, what's going on? With look at the coaching staff. They got Todd Wash, you got Deuce Staley, and then you got Jim Caldwell, and then you look at the DJ Chark sign down there, and then John Pennicini sign. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Well, the Pennicini one shocked me. That lets me know how much Matt Patricia took his spirit out of him.
Definitely. But all right, man, this is crazy. Hey, you guys for checking us out right here in Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. All right, Raw Podcast. Luke said, check out Julius Brents from Kansas State.
I'm on it.
Okay. Trisha Miller says, Luke, please get some help for all that fear you are harboring. This was the intervention here. We were interventioning it right now, but it's not fear. It's just me being objective. I can't go into the season expecting to make all these type of standards, and I think our schedule is tougher, and I don't know when we play them. But if we mess around and we go ahead. If we can get some of those cold weather games, those cold weather teams outside in the early part of the season.
Exactly. That's what I was just going to say. If we can get some of those, like some of them cold games earlier, my numbers have changed. My confidence have changed. But if we got to get them cold people in the winter, it's going to be a different beast. And we already know that the Lions have an issue with cold weather.
Well, they had that last game of the year. They have a problem with that. They went to Green Bay, was like, we'll give a damn how cold it is. We'll put in go in here and win.
But one of the ways I'm looking at it too is if the culture is changing and focusing on winning, you just got to do it. I mean, you just can't let the old Meowda hold you back.
Yeah, I feel you can't dwell on the past. You gotta go forward and be positive. And then Terry Foster said something the other day, and I was like, we'll see. And the last time we had this, it didn't go well. He said they said the NFL schedule makers are looking at the Lions for five prime time games this upcoming year. Well, it'd be 4 and then plus Thanksgiving, of course, but it'd be 5 total. So we'll see. But the last time we had that shit didn't go well.
but to be fair, that's because people thought that it took 3 years to change a culture. To be fair,
that's very true.
To be fair,
that's very true. But hey, it's coming up on the time, man. We're about 2 minutes out from the end of the show, man. Now it's some final thoughts for today's show. Timmy, what you got, my man?
Okay, well, everybody enjoy the weather. It's nice outside. Finally getting spring. Let the Lions enjoy the draft and just wipe out everybody else in their picks.
Okay, definitely. All right. For me, final thoughts for today's show. Thank you guys for checking us out right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Hey, again, like I said, it is Autism Awareness Month, man. Make sure you accept and adapt and advocate for those who are differently able and for those who have autism on the autism spectrum. If you have someone that is dealing with the spectrum, or a parent of someone on the spectrum, or a brother or a sibling or a cousin or a whatever of someone who's on the autism spectrum, you know what I'm saying? Please give them that support. And for me, definitely thank you guys for checking us out right here in Detroit Lions and the Prowl Detroit, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. Make sure you go check your boy Curt Steele out on SideLionReport.com, man. I will have some more content coming over there soon. Wait till May. It's gonna be on and popping. Once I graduate school on the 5th of May, it's gonna be on and popping over there at SideLionReport.com. And this, thank you guys for checking us out right here. We love our Prowl Nation family. But now it's time for my man Luke G. Go ahead and step to the pulpit, my brother, and give us your final thoughts for today's show.
Listen, it's always fun, TGIF, and I mean that with the most sincerity, man. You know, because I'm ready for it. But, ladies and gentlemen, today's positive quote comes from the internet because I'm not quite sure who said it, but it was beautiful when I read it. It simply says that a man is not great because he has not failed. It's because he did not stop when he did. See, I know some of y'all don't have some downs and you decided to stay in that place. But there's another small quote that came out of it from Miss Jennifer Lewis, who says that if you stay in shit long enough, it stops smelling. I need you to get up out of it. I need you to understand that the failure that you're dealing with was not the end of the journey. I need you to understand that just because it's set back didn't mean it was not being set up. You are in a position to do some things a little different. You are in a position to change the outcomes. You are stronger than you thought you could ever have been. And just because you failed at this, maybe you failed at it twice. Maybe you failed at it 5 times. Hell, you might have failed at it 100% of the time. But you know what you didn't fail at? Your discipline to keep trying. You didn't fail at your desire to get it done. You didn't fail at your will to beat it. See, when you have those things, those small victories, they add up to a whole great championship. And I'm asking you today to do one simple thing. One simple thing. Don't stop because you failed. No. Live in your greatness and keep going. Push through it. And if you fail, so be it. And if you succeed, well, guess what? The failure is just a reminder that anything worth having is worth fighting for. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.
Hey, thank you guys for checking us out right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. And with my fellow autism parents, Doug and Paul DeRose. Yeah, my son is Curtis is 25 or 26, excuse me, and he still lives at home. That's why I just looked out here a few seconds ago. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. And whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For the panel, this is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon. We love you, Jim.